You're listening to the Bands and Musicians Show with your host, Andy Peacher, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show for the indie and the up-and-coming singers, songwriters and bands. We need new guests. If you have the talent, please email Andy at freedomtalkradio2013@gmail.com or visit our website www.freedomtalkradio.co.uk or Skype us at Freedom Talk Radio 1.
Yeah, welcome to the show. This is Andy Peacher, Bands and Musicians Night. We're hoping to have Vince Gellanese calling in very, very shortly. We've got Michael Unsworth, the singer-songwriter for Children Screaming to be Heard.
freedomtalkradio.co.uk.
Let's go!
This is the most diverse, most amazing, one of the funniest radio stations you could ever listen to on the internet. I've heard so much stuff from the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights.
The politics, the non-politics, the schmolitics, whatever you want to call them.
It's great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is freedomtalkradio.net, and you are listening to Freedom Talk Radio.
From beautiful Saline in southeastern Michigan.
Around the world.
This is the 2009 Top 10 Webcam in the World winner. This is SETV.
Yeah, welcome to the show. This is Andy, and this is the Bands Reunited. Oh, no, it's not. It's a Bands and Musicians Show. I wish people wouldn't type to me. Michael, can you send Maggie the link if you could?
Yes.
And then if she disconnects from Skype, it'll be far a lot easier. And then she can see that it's, she can see, that the it's being connected to Skype on this service is the problem when there's too many. Having said that, computers often play up. But yeah, so Michael Unsworth is from the Children Screaming to be Heard. He's a singer-songwriter. He's made a song called Calling You, Calling Me. He's also made songs as well for The Soul and Generation. Michael's from Australia, and basically so is Vince. Vince Gellanese, Australian-born singer. Just waiting for him to call in. And he sings Every Dream. And Every Dream has made the top 10, really, in America of the independent music sort of awards. So I don't know whether to go on with you now, because he normally turns up on time. It must be these daylight savings. All right then, well for now, Michael, we'll just have to talk to you, my friend.
Yeah, that's no worries at all, Andy.
Yes, sir.
And what time is it there now? Because, I've got about 4 o'clock in the morning, so Vince probably will be running a little bit late, but that's okay.
Yeah, I told him only 3 or 4 hours ago. I said 3 or 4 hours to show time, so I think he knows the time anyway.
Yep.
And if Maggie, I've just sent her the link. If Maggie just presses play on this link, she'll hear it. But she'll have to disconnect herself from Skype. Otherwise, she'll get double trouble. Because also some people can't mute. And if they mute the microphone, when other people are talking, they won't hear any feedback. But anyway, so we'll go on then. First question is, well, I was going to do you as a team.
Right.
But he's not coming yet, so
yep.
What inspired you anyway to sort of write music? Where did it all come from?
Well, many years ago, I think, like I've always had the passion to write the music and write words and stuff like that. I suppose it comes from a family background. You know, my mum does a little bit of writing here and there, and I suppose it just goes through the bloodlines, you know. So it's just a bit of a disease, I think. I mean, when you do start writing songs and all that sort of stuff, you know, and putting music down and all that, it just becomes, an addiction, just like a drug, I suppose. So that's all I could say. But just getting my emotions across in music just feels right for me. So I think that's the best way to explain the way I feel about doing any sort of music, Andy.
Yeah, I often say to people, would you say it's often like therapy, you know? You're getting your emotions out, whether it be happy emotions, sad emotions, but you're kind of really having a good time doing your music, and it kind of makes you feel better, doesn't it?
It does, because, I mean, what's his name? You know, like as you know, and I wrote that song for the Stolen Generation through Facebook. I haven't met the lady, Barbara, or anything like that, but, you know, I took on her emotions to write the song and sort of put it all into the song, and it makes me feel good to help that person to sort of show their emotions through my music.
Yeah, very good. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting for Vince, I have got the Stolen Generation, because I think if we start with what you first did, you know, for the children, and because we shouldn't forget the Canadian, and we shouldn't forget the Australian Aboriginal children. They've got stolen, you know, or whatever you want to call it. They've been abused sexually, mentally, morally, in every way, shape and form. And then that leads us on to really why you decided that, you know, that helping a charity in this work, such as Children Scream to Be Heard.com, was kind of a good, a good move. So just give me a second and I'll try and find the Stolen Generation.
Yeah.
And as usual, there we are. So this is the Stolen Generation, and we'll say it's for Barbara, because Barbara, if you're listening, I hope you are, I've posted today's show on your website. This is for the Stolen Generation, and this is for Barbara, and it's written and sung by Michael Unsworth.
Taken away from the mother's care, broken hearted that they did not care. She remembers crying late at night, watching the candle burn out of light. Young man followed her to the back lane when he grabbed her. She fell down to the floor, crying, please. No more. Stolen generation child. Stolen generation child. Bruised and battered, but still remembers a kiss from Mom. Now she's passed and now she's gone to the dream time where she'd wait for the kiss another day. Stolen generation child. Stolen generation child.
Yeah, that was Michael Unsworth, Stolen Generation Child. And Michael, I'm just wondering, do you want to tell us a bit more about sort of your mum, your family, you know, how you ended up in Australia?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I can tell you a bit of a story on, what's the name? I was born in St. Helens, first of all, down near Liverpool in the UK. What's its name? At the age of 6, in 1972, that we flew out to Australia, and what's his name? My parents flew out here, and you know, brought the full family, and sort of we just come outside of Geelong in Victoria, outside of Melbourne, and moved into Geelong in Victoria. You know, and grew up here as a kid, and I've been back to England and St. Helens quite a few times. And in '82, my mother moved back to the UK. My mum and dad split up, so she moved back to the UK, and I ended up getting married over in England, and I married an English girl from St. Helens as well. So, I mean, now we're all out to, you know, living in Geelong, back to Geelong in Australia. So, yeah, and yeah, I've had 4 kids. Well, I haven't had 4 kids, but Bev's had 4 kids. We've got 4 kids. They're all in Australia, and yeah, I'm looking forward to actually coming over. I haven't been over to England since about '96, but it'd be really good to get back over there and do something for the UK kids. And you know, I thought, well, it'd be great if we could get back over there and help the charity Children Screaming to Be Heard with Maggie Tuttle, and you know, the people are part of Children Screaming to Be Heard, and let's do something for the kids, for the UK kids, because not many people know that they go through a hell of a ride growing up. So I think you know, if we could do something in the sense of write more songs, you know, to promote that the kids are being stolen. As you can see, Stolen Generation song for Australia, they were stolen, and so on. So, yeah.
Well, just for the listeners, tell us what do you mean about Stolen Generation? I mean, it sounds like somebody somewhere is kidnapping children.
Well, I mean, what's his name? You know, it all starts off with like there was a movie over here, Rabbit Proof Fence, and it's a really good little movie. You know, it's 3 Aboriginal girls, and what actually happens, you know, like the welfare or the government come in and they took these 3 little girls, you know, 3 little Aboriginal girls, and they've put them in a car and they've took them away. And it's a really good story, because when you watch the movie and all that, these 3 little Aboriginal girls actually get away, and the rabbit-proof fence what they put up, they started following that home. and what's his name, halfway or, a quarter of the way, one little girl gets caught by the government, and then the other two, the littlest one and the oldest one, get back to the mother and father, and it just shows you, the way they do things. Like, as an Aboriginal, they live off the land. I mean, they know the land better than the white people, because, what's his name? It's just born and bred in them. And it just shows you that they are two little girls. I think one was 11 and one was 7 or something. And they got all the way back, and they walked for 30 days or something back to their family, and then just hid away every time the government come, so they wouldn't get taken away.
Yeah, so I can understand now they've been stolen, based on the sort of the Australian sort of version, and now because children have been stolen, and we've done that record, now they're screaming so desperately to be heard, and that's why.
Oh, definitely, Andy. I mean, like it's goes back many years, as we all know, I mean, even before, like, Australia's only like 220 years old. So, I mean, before that, in the UK and before, it takes a long time for this stuff to come out, and sometimes it doesn't come out until people pass on and and die. And, as we know, we've got people dying and little bits and pieces which you think they were a good person, and doing lots of things for, children and stuff like that. You think, okay, they're doing all the right things and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, when they've died, a little bit afterwards, they come out and, the truth comes out, as you know, and, they could have been a pedophile, they could have been anything, I mean, kids are stolen and sold and bought and sold and traded all around the world, and, I feel that it's got to come to a stop. And
it will do no more than sort of our Maggie Tuttle thinks the same, and...
Well, that's right. I mean, Maggie, she's, like a great talker. She's, she does her own work. She's got everything in order. And the first thing on her mind from, morning till night is bringing the kids home to be secure with the families, and I mean, I know that I'd have her on my side, which I have got her on my side, and, I'm trying to work with Maggie, doing the songs, and try and get more people involved, and stand up and fight, and try and bring these kids, back to their families. And, there is some cases where I suppose, some kids can't go home, but, I mean, there's cases where, like, where they, some parents, sell their kids off, and, I mean, that shouldn't be happening these days.
Well, I'm afraid, Merkel, it probably does, and Maggie is a great speaker, but not just that. You've said it already. She's a great role model. She wakes up in the morning, goes to bed at night. She neglects herself because she loves children. She loves justice, and she only does it because of that reason.
Yeah, exactly. I just think, like, who would ever be better than Maggie to fight for the kids? I couldn't name one. I've never come across a lady like Maggie or a man like Maggie. She's got a lot of fight in her. At the end of the day, she should be running the country, really, I'd say. Better than David Cameron,
Well, I was chuckling a little bit, thinking Maggie is definitely a man and a woman all in one, because you are right. She wears the trousers, she's got the voice, and the children love her because she's Maggie, mummy, grandma, mummy. You know, she's the ambassador really for the children. And we did have somebody, didn't we? I mean, a few years ago they used to thought Mother Teresa was this, Mother Teresa was that. No, I don't agree with that. I think the closest person to Maggie Tuttle would be Nelson Mandela, bless him.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and yeah, I mean, unfortunately he's passed away, but yeah, for sure. I mean, like, that's the respect what I give to Maggie as well as, you know, Nelson Mandela, you know. I mean, what's his name? Yeah, for sure.
Well, we all respect each other for what we're doing. You know, we're going to have technical problems along the way. We're going to have arguments. We're going to have emails that we're supposed to send. But deep down, we're here for one reason, and that's the children of the UK, and obviously throughout the world if we can help them too. But we must focus at the moment on these safe houses. 100,000 children plus every year go missing. 10,000 of them are from the care system, and it's got to stop, Michael.
Well, that's definitely, it's got to stop. I mean, you know, I mean, it causes a lot of problems all the way through the country when people are, you know, hungry, no money, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it doesn't just cause one problem that we've got people on the streets. You know, we've got burglaries, we've got everything. People have got to survive, Andy. And, you know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong to take somebody else's stuff when it's not yours, but, I mean, it's, you know, some people have been bought, sold, traded, got away from that, and they can't go anywhere else but the street. And, I mean, this is why, really, we need a safe house in the UK. I mean, there's 86 million people in the UK. And what's his name? You know, if you had somewhere to go, even at night, to be secure, and be away from, you know, having a meal, being away from, like, instead of selling yourself to somebody, like some kids do. I mean, you know, they're on the street, they hit rock bottom and stuff, and you know, they'll sell their body to get what they want, and I mean, that's crying shame to me.
Absolutely. Can I just say, this is how sad people are on Facebook. I had a comment in, I mean, we won't sort of go any more than just saying it, that why do you need safe houses in the UK when the children surely want to go home to their families? Duh, you forgot the point that they're in local authority care, they're in imprisonment until they get released, they can't go home, and if they decide to run away, then surely a safe house is better. They'll never go home until the law changes or we stand up and march in a millions, you know? Sorry,
yeah.
I just don't like Facebook comments. They do not think before they speak. I tell you what, I think because we're a musical show and we've got onto the streets, we're now thinking of our safe houses. And kids can, you know, I'm sure that Tesco, Sainsbury's, all the big supermarkets, if homeless people are on the streets, I'm sure they don't mind them going into the bins and taking something, you know. I do hope that's possible, you know, for the people that run away. And because if they're fed, watered and safe, you know, until the safe houses come, that's better than nothing. One particular person, Michael, is Ben. Ben in London. Stan knows Ben, Maggie knows Ben, and we'll play his song.
Yeah, for sure.
Down on my cardboard box, no one who cares, people just don't see that da 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 dum, da da dum, da 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 dum, da dum, da 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 dum, da dum, da 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 dum, da dum, da na 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 no, da na 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 no, da na na no. This heart that I'm feeling just won't go away. I guess it's eating me from the inside out. sitting on my box since 1995. From the cradle to the street, still sitting on my cardboard box, feeling out of place, wondering where I am. I'm still sitting on my cardboard box, here I am all on my own. Da-dum, da-da-na-na-na, dum, da-na-na-na-na, da-no, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-no, da-na-na-na-na, still sitting on my cardboard box down on the strand, losing my mind. I'm sitting on my cardboard box, feeling out of place, wondering where I am. I'm still sitting on my cardboard box, here I am all on my own. Dum, da-na-na, dum, da-na-na, da-na. On a cloudy day, when it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you said, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl. My girl.
Do you know what I love about our life? We wake up with a smile, mate. And to see you guys just makes our day.
Oh, bless you.
And it does. It does. And it does. Because it shows you care. Because it shows you care. Because it shows you care.
It shows you care. Yeah, it certainly doesn't. That was Ben sitting on a cardboard box. Poor homeless person from London on the streets. I was just thinking that record, it gave me another record, but I've lost it now. They was talking about another record, and Maggie, if you put the word Maggie in there, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it, how you can have people what just adapt to actually living on a cardboard box and, live in that way and think there's no other way.
So we're just calling our lovely lady in because...
Hello.
Hello, that's better, isn't it, madam?
Yes.
Okay, you just sit there while we're just sort of discussing Ben and the cardboard box.
I know, I heard some of it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just amazing, Andy, isn't it, really, I believe, like, to watch people wake up with a smile, like, at the end, she says, at least we wake up with a smile, and, they're still happy, and they're just, that all they've got is a cardboard box, living on the street. What would be better is if them people were, like, especially Ben and so on, in a safe house, safe at night. And, then in the morning they can go and do what they want. They can go shopping, do whatever they want, and then come back, to a safe house at night. So then they're, people are not murdered as much. They're not, bought and sold. I mean, when, like I said before, when people are down and out, that's what they do. They sell themselves, and it's a crying shame. Like I said, for the kids, for people around the world, it's just a crying shame. What they actually go through in life, and we just turn a blind eye to it. I mean, there's a lot of people just walk past it every day, and they don't speak up, they don't put their hand in the pocket to give them something, they don't, I mean, what's his name, all the restaurants and stuff like that, they could give food out on the street. They see people walking every day, homeless people, they could, put some food out on the table out the front of the restaurant for them. I mean, we try and, I look at it, they're human beings like me, and a lot of other people look at them like aliens. I look at it that way, that people just look at homeless people like aliens, but they shouldn't be here if they haven't got a home. But it's not true, they're just like us.
Yeah, I don't think the problem is actually worldwide myself. I mean...
Yes, it is.
Now, Maggie, the whole art of discussion is, let me make a mistake and then you can correct it, yeah? What I was trying to say, I don't think the problem, not of starving, what I was trying to say is that the problem of, I think in the UK and third world countries, they need food, they're not getting any. The UK, I don't think the people care about people or the kids. But in most of Europe and some of the world, I think, if you had a spare meal and saw a homeless guy, you would say, come in, maybe sit in the garden, have your meal, have a wash, and then go on your way. In the UK, they look the other way and they're not bothered. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's just funny how it goes, Andy. Like, people just walk past people, like all the time. And I mean, that's why we've got people like, there's people out there, like myself, what go out on the street busking and stuff like that to keep their family alive. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, I look at it, if you see a busker on the street, put your hand in your pocket, give them something. Because, I mean, they've probably got a family at home trying to feed them and trying to do the right thing for the family and trying to pay the bills too, you know what I mean? It's not their fault that they're out of work, and, it's all back to how the country's run, and the country's run poorly. For work-wise, it's run poorly for, as we know, for the children's side of it. Like, I can't say it. The kids are bought, sold, traded all around Europe, everywhere, over the water, back. They're dragged from pillar to post. And, I mean, bloody hell, I think, the government's got to look at it and go, okay, we've got to do something about it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Malcolm, but I think what we have to do at the moment, and now this is, because our guest hasn't turned up yet, I think it's only right that Maggie can have a word in a second. But I think through music, through paintings, through, another idea I've come up with actually, and I'll tell Maggie about that another time. But, on the basis of music and artwork and, conferences and campaigning and begging and concerts, whatever, I think we can help the kids. We just need a few more people. So, Maggie, tell us all what's going wrong with the world.
It's money. All money, and to do with the world population, which used to be the Eugenics Society. I'm sure you know about that. And all to do with cloning. And I must say that this week, or all over the weekend as well, that on Channel 4, they're asking people, do you want to clone your dog? Now, this is a big front, because they've been cloning or trying to clone people, the population, for a long, long time. And all as we hear is there's not enough food in the world to feed the population. There's too many people in the world. And that's all you hear. And yet you can drive around Southend, where I am, in Essex, and there's thousands of millions of acres in the whole bloody country. So why are farmers being paid by the government not to grow the food? And this has been going on since, well, I know from 30 years ago. So, of course, there's a shortage because they want to grow the food for the population their own way. It's control. So it comes back to your question. Everything is down to control. As for the kids in care, they don't have a voice, as we all know. They're put down as ADHD. There's no such thing as ADHD. They keep putting these kids down as having learning disabilities, behavioural problems. They move them from home to home. And the kids never have the love, bedtime stories, all the things that these lovely little kids have. And I love naughty kids, because when kids are naughty, that's when you sit down and you have a little chat with them, and you have a little laugh and a joke, and you use the word, we compromise. But, no, nobody. The children have to do as they're told to do, especially in the care system. Birthdays, Christmases, they don't see their families. They'll be lucky to see their families. And the great thing is Michael has written that song after learning of the care system, how children do not have contact with their families. And they can't call them on the telephones. There's no postage, there's no letters, there's no contact. So, of course, calling you, calling me, it says it. I have to cry when I hear the song. And I don't like to let you guys know, because it's not fair, because you're all working as hard as me anyway. And without you guys, there wouldn't be Children Screaming to be heard as big as it's gone. And I mean, it's fantastic that we've got Michael from Australia and Jeff as well, and others, and Bev. And they want to help the children here. And these poor little kids in care, they're put on drugs like Ritalin. Well, Ritalin it is written down that Ritalin is more or less equal to cocaine. So, of course, when these kids are coming out of care and they don't get their Ritalin anymore, they're already drug addicts from the care system. So, people, the everyday people walk around the streets and they look at the homeless people and they're, oh, yeah, all from the Jeremy Kyle program. Look at them, all the same, deserve what they've got. My God, if only people knew how these children suffer. If only, I tell you. And I tell you what, if I'm up in heaven before any of those MPs or any of them, I will send them to hell to burn. They'll never go through the gates of heaven, not for what they've done to the thousands of children. They've been selling our children for centuries, selling them, abusing them in every way. But wherever you go in the world, you say, do you know of the children who are suffering in England? Children suffering in England? What are you talking about? Children don't suffer in England. You have all these wonderful services. Do we really? People don't know about the paedophiles and, well, they do know a little, but they don't know it's big time from the top. From the very top. Look at the Cyril Smith thing that's in now. We've had the Jimmy Savile. In comes the Cyril Smith. Our police force and governments have known what's been going on to these children since they came into power. But they don't do anything because, it's the old, keep it in the Old Boys Network. That's what it is. Old Boys Network. They need all these guys, MPs, not all, there's a few good ones, and lords, but again, not all the lords. They need throwing out of government. What do they know? They're so old. They're too old. They don't know anything. He's throwing out and bringing people who are the working class people who know what's happening. The truth is always with the nation. Yeah, you'll have to stop me, Andy, otherwise I'll just rabbit on all night. You know I will.
No, I wanted to say, earlier on you was mentioning about dogs being cloned. I mean, it is a fun, because a lot of dogs and cats, they're more abandoned, I suppose, than the kids are in a way. So why would they want to clone them? Like you said, it's a fun. It has been going on for at least 5 or 6 years, and the first experiments on humans have already happened. So, I mean, the only good thing about cloning, Michael will agree with me, and you, Stan, and you, Cornell, we need to clone Mama Maggie. Anyway, because you're a great lady, and it is a musical show, I've got the perfect record for you, from me, from everybody else that loves you, right? And then we'll go on and carry on talking and, yeah, you know, and just, yeah. But we're
You're
going to have
trying to keep me up so that I don't swear at you all in the morning. I know what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. Well, I'm singing to you now on this song, and so is all the kids, and so is all the adults. And then after 8 o'clock, when Stan comes on, he can sing to us as well.
Did you? Okay. And we must say thank you to the Emperor Roscoe as well, because I've just had an email in, and he's doing other things for the children screaming to be heard, and for Michael.
Yep. Thanks to Albina, thanks to Stan, but you can say all about that later on, because we need to show people what we're doing musically through, you know, video, through art, and so on. Anyway, this is from all the kids. You probably don't even like the song, but it made me cry when my mum got ill. And we know you love us too. Maggie, what do you think to that?
I cannot comment, being a nan, being a grandmother who has lost her grandson. I can't say any more than that. But thank you, Andy. Thanks, Michael.
No worries, Maggie.
But, yeah, coming back to the cloning the dogs, well, this is just the beginning, and this is how they get things out to the public first, you know. So it's when you've been doing this for 40 years, you know how the governments work. And, you know, something can be said today, and it'll become passed as a law in 20 years' time. You know, they're so evil, they really are. But I think the most evilest thing on this earth, and I didn't know what was happening until 3 years ago. I knew a little what was going on with the children in the world, but not to the extent that I've found out in these 3 years. Michael, it's horrendous. Absolutely. Can you imagine little babies, 3 to 6 months old, being seduced? That is terrible. And I get the info in. I have to read it, and I'm sick reading it. But you have to become strong, because if you break down, you can't help the children. So you've got to put aside the heartache and carry on. You must. And until, as Andy and everyone says, until the people come out en masse and march, instead of marching for their bloody benefits or their bedroom taxes, come out and march for the children. But they won't. They won't. I don't know why. It's not money, is it? I mean, when I was at the legal aid meeting some weeks ago with all the solicitors and barristers and lawyers and things, I met a lot of very nice people, but there was over 2,000 there. You know, anything to do with money, they're there on the streets. But we in little, you know, as we are. But I think now that we've got Michael, we've got Roscoe. I've just had more good news from Roscoe as well. I think we're getting there slowly. Every campaign I've done has taken 3 years. Michael, I'm on the 3 years. We're getting there.
Yeah, no, that's for sure, Maggie. Yeah, going back to all the cloning and that sort of stuff, you know, and, you know, that is, like, you know, kids being taken into care for one. You know, obviously there's some parents out there what can't look after the kids, and that's fair enough, you know. I mean, we look at it and say, okay, you know, we might have 10 or 15% of them people what have got drug addictions and they can't look after the kids, and, you know, they want to sell the kids or whatever to fix their drug addiction up, and which people do that. But I mean, what they forget about is why aren't the kids passed to the grandparents to be looked after? And I feel like if they are passed on to the grandparents and then put the proper parents into rehabilitation, rehabilitate them, try and clean them up as best as they can. You know, you'll never clean up a pedophile or anything like that, just lock them away. But, you know, if they've just got a drug addiction or whatever, clean them up the best they can, give them access to the kids, you know, and the grandparents have still got to have, you know, contact with the kids, you know, and, like, once you've broke a family up, it's very hard to get all that bonding back. And, I mean, that's what they take away from a family when they put kids in care. They break that bonding, and then, you know, like, as a kid grows a bit older, you know, they might see the grandparents once a week or twice a week or once a month. They might see the mum and dad once a month. Once that happens over a period of time, when he gets to a certain age, that kid, he'll probably see his parents once a year.
Michael, can I tell you something, and the rest of the people? Up until the Second World War, we had communities, and there were street parties and things like that. Yeah. After the war, World War II, what government did, they split up the communities. They broke the communities up. They built these high-rise families. There's a place called Milton Keynes, and I know going back to 1972 that when they was building Milton Keynes, that was built outside of London, and I was told, oh, that's for all the troubled families to be thrown out of London. But however, a councillor I worked with as well in Islington, apparently every year the local councils get so much money towards doing repairing or doing whatever they have to do for properties. If they say they got £1 million to knock down a row of houses, and they didn't knock down that row of houses and build a block of flats, then that council would not get that grant from the central government every year. And I know that went on. I know that was going on. So it was the government who broke up the communities. Now, when you had the communities, I mean, the families were there. They were all together. They were close. Kids run to grandma's house or auntie's house. They had the whole family around them. But now they're all split up, as you said, Michael, completely split. And do remember that grandparents are free. We do not generate money for the social workers, for the adoption or foster agencies, for the so-called experts. There's no money we generate because we love our grandchildren and we take them in free of charge. But no.
Exactly.
We got
Maggie.
no right.
I can remember, like growing up as a kid, like what's his name, having my grandparents, just down the road, and it was always, oh, I'm going down to, my grandma's to see her, because you always get a treat, you always get something when you go to your grandma's, you know what I mean? Even if it's a biscuit or a cup of Milo or a cup of chocolate or whatever, you always felt.
Or stay the night.
Treated. Yeah.
Can I make an obvious point here? Because I'm a man of the world. Well, why wouldn't the government and all the agencies have a free grandma? Why wouldn't the government and all the agencies have a free carer? Because, often relatives care for disabled, sick people. It's all free. Grandmas are free. Granddads are free because they want to have the money themselves.
Yeah, and they want to have control. It's basically the control. Because, without... and this speaks for itself. Without them having the control, and they put the kids where they want to put them. And the government, as we've seen, make money off these kids, and it's true. And it's money, just like paying tax. It's just money to them. And money makes the world go round, and unfortunately that's, what they want is just money. They don't want the future of the kids or the, the grandparents looking after the kids, because, they'll get taught morals growing up properly. When they've got them in these care systems and that sort of stuff, they can manipulate their minds to the way they want to do things, and that's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael, and I don't know how we're going to change it, but we're sure going to try.
What's his name? We can change it. I believe that we can change it, and it's just, it's just getting people together. Look, you can't just get 1,000 people or 2,000 people together. We need, you need 250 to 500,000 people to stand up against this in one community at one time. Otherwise, otherwise it would fail.
Yeah, well, Cornell's just said we can do this, and Cornell's right. And you're right, Michael. We can do this, definitely.
We can do it. Especially like we've got a great leader. Like Maggie's, as you've heard on the radio today. Great speaker. She knows everything what she's speaking about. She knows everything she speaks for, and it's just one of those things where you've just got to take a bit of a step back, have a little bit of a pause, and think, being the public, and go, is this really happening? And ask yourself the question: ask yourself the question, is it really happening? You know, because a lot of people go, nah, that's not happening. But ask yourself the question. If you're listening, ask yourself the question, is this really happening? And open your eyes to it and have a look around and start having a little bit of a look into things and see how far. I bet you don't stop looking after you find one or two little things. I mean, Maggie's been doing it 40 years. I mean, she does it because she loves the kids. She wants to bring the kids, like we said before, to the grandparents, and they, you know, get that bonding with the grandparents, upbringing, they get the morals, they get the respect, and they go out in life, and once or twice a week, when they grow up like that, they go back to the grandma or granddad. I have to go to my grandma's today. You know, they're always home. If you need something doing, they're always home. Yeah, I can give you a hand, Dad. I can give you a hand, Mum. Oh, I'm going down to granddad's or grandma's to help her. You know, and that's what it used to be like. But now, you know, since they've broke it all up, they've broke that family bonding up, it's not like that anymore.
No, going back to what you're saying is, all people need to do is Google child stealing by the state or the stolen generation in Australia, legally kidnapped. Now that is relevant to the children. Now, back in everybody's house now, I can guarantee you, if you research your full-fat milk as an example and your low-fat milk, you'll be surprised to hear your full-fat milk is better. Your margarine, which they say is better than butter, load of rubbish. It's called program, and if our Tim was here, he'd explain it very better than me. They're trying to program us through TV, through the media, to do what they want you to do, but the opposite. So they don't want you to be healthy. They want you to die quickly. It's eugenics. They're trying to control everyone. They're trying to break up the families, trying to kill people off. So the New World Order takes over. It sounds a bit conspiracy theory. It's not. It's conspiracy is happening.
Exactly, Andy. You know, and it does happen. You know, like it's proof in the pudding, really. I mean, if anybody starts reading about anything, such as the kids or food or anything like that, the proof's right in front of you. You know, you just got to read a little bit deeper and you'll find the truth.
Well, Cornell has actually just said it's not just about the eating. The truth is also in the drinking. You know, we pay. I don't know if Maggie does, but most people do. We pay something like £40 a month to have water through the tap, and you can't drink it. I think you'll be lucky if you can wash with it, because it gives some people skin rashes. So the water is supposed to be purified and fresh. That's a joke, and you have to pay for it. The TV license, well, if you don't watch TV or you only like one channel, then, you know, again, it's programming.
Yeah, it's everything to earn money. Everything to line the pockets with the money. I mean, so they can. The more money you've got, the more control you've got, isn't it?
Now, tell you what, because we've been talking about the children, and in case Vince does come on, if you're listening, Vince, we're waiting for you. We'll play the song which makes us all proud of you, Michael and Maggie, and the charity, and all the children out there. Well, it does make us proud of the children. It makes us cry to hell, but we'll have to play the song because it's a brilliant song, calling you, calling me. And if anybody wants to buy the record, I mean, it is on CD Baby, and the link is www.cdbaby.com/CD and /Michael Unsworth. You can also go to childrenscreamingtobeheard.com, look on the right side, little baby with the headphones on, and you can buy the song from there. So from the next track from Michael Unsworth is Calling You, Calling Me for the charity children screaming to be heard. That was Michael Unsworth and Calling You, Calling Me for the charity childrenscreamingtobeheard.com. We have Michael Unsworth here, and welcome back, Michael. Maggie Tuttle. We have Maggie Tuttle from the charity, and we're just going to basically call in another caller just temporarily because he wants to say hello, and I think it's only right. I've been promising God bless him Cornell for a long time. I've told him only to talk about things very briefly because we've got other people to come on as well, and then you can just sit and listen. So, Michael, do you want to carry on talking while I get Cornell on?
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to talk about, the song. We wrote that song for children screaming to be heard, and it was funny because I was driving down the road, and I'd been on the phone to Maggie, and we used to talk a lot on the phone when we first got to know each other. And I was just, driving down the road, and I was in the van, and I'm going down the road, and for some unknown reason, I just started singing Calling You, Calling Me, and, started putting all things into place, and within I pulled over a few times and written these words down, and this is at the start of the show I was saying it's an addiction. The songwriting's an addiction, and so I started writing the words down, and you'd travel a little bit further and you'd start singing them words, and then you're trying to concentrate on the road, and you're trying to do everything as well as make a song. And I ended up pulling over and just writing the little bits and pieces down again, and then I couldn't wait. I was like a kid going to my grandma's or back home. I couldn't wait to get home to start piecing this jigsaw puzzle together. And when it started coming together, I thought, geez, it's going to be a nice song for the kids, for the charity. And it's funny how things just happen like that, within the space of a day or two, and then I had Jeff Zimbalist, working on the music side of it, Gary Quince, the production side of it, all just people coming out helping me. I mean, Jeff speaks on his own. I mean, put a guitar in the bloke's hand. I mean, he's a highly respected guitarist in Australia. I mean, he's played with, such as John Farnham and, big voices in Australia and that. So, yeah, I mean, he's just one of those blokes where he's really easygoing. I mean, he wants to help the charity. I was speaking to him earlier on. And, he just said, like, he had an album out in 1996, and it's in the top 100 rock albums in the world. And he said, listen, Mick, he said, why don't we say, well, we can use the album, we can use the publicity to get children screaming to be heard for your song, to try and get it out there a little bit more. Because, I mean, like, all we need, and we're not asking a lot, all we need is somebody to buy one copy of the song each in the country, and you would have a safe house. That's $1. Well, £1. Pull £1 out and donate it to Children Screaming to Be Heard charity, and they would have a safe house up and going within a year or so. I mean, and they'd have it all decked out. They'd have, everything up and going, and then, you've done something, and you've done a good cause, even if you just pulled £1 out of your pocket and donate it to Children Screaming to Be Heard. I mean, one person, if 86 million people did that, you'd have a lot of money to help the kids in Britain, and you'd be a far better country. And what's his name? It'd cut the crime rate down. It would cut a lot down, and it would show the government that this is how it should have been done from the start. And we should have had a safe house many, many years ago. And we keep the kids off the street. They don't have to sell themselves. They don't have to go and commit a crime to live. They don't have to wake up freezing cold and trying to find a bed and disturbing people, and then people are reporting them to the police early in the hours of the morning, think they're getting burgled. It just, all that, it'll stop all that. So, I mean, all I can say is, if everybody in Britain who's listening can pull £1 out of the pocket and put it to Children Screaming to Be Heard, towards a safe house, I think it would be a good thing. I think you'd be doing a great thing for the charity and a fantastic thing for the country. And all it's going to cost you is £1.
Yeah, £1, Michael. That can even be per family. You could even narrow that down very. Why don't anybody who's not waged pay 50p per family? Anybody who's waged £1, and any company £2.
Well, that's fair enough, Andy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, £1, right? If you donate it to a charity, it's taxpayers' money anyway. Like, what's his name? And you can donate it. They're only going to take it off you in tax in the long run anyway, the government. So you might as well donate £1 It's not a lot of money. I mean, look, if you go without, say, a packet of lollies for the day, I mean, you've helped a kid by giving £1.
I think you've come up with a very good point there, Maggie. We need to research this a little bit better. I need to get Cornell on in a minute just to give a 5-minute chat. But Michael, I think if everybody who's working, and I've just remembered when you said it, you get tax relief for donating to charity. So if you donated £1 or £5, they will not charge you that in tax later on. So in effect, to everybody who's working and any company, it costs you $0 to donate £1 or £5.
That's exactly right, Andy. And I mean, what's his name? You know, what better sort of cause it would be, you know, to help the future of the country.
I'm just getting in Cornell now.
You know,
I think.
I mean, the country runs on, you know, families and, you know, people coming through families. You know what I mean? I mean, if we all stopped breeding, there'd be no kids. They wouldn't make any money. You know, but I mean, at the end of it, you know, we've got to have a safe house. We've got to have somewhere for these kids to go and keep them off the street. And I mean, like I said, if everybody just puts £1 into the charity Children Screaming to be Heard, you know, within 12 months, you'd have up and going safe houses around the country.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Cornell's given me the wrong number. Oh, damn.
Michael, our charity, I run the charity on my pension only. And from my pension, about I think it's 137, is it, Andy?
Yeah.
Pounds a week. I have to feed myself, pay the rent, pay the council tax, run the car, and run the charity. And all the books and accounts have to go in every year. And yet, we run on pennies, and you've got charities worth millions, hundreds of millions of pounds, some of them, and not one can open a safe house. And even if they did, the kids wouldn't go to it because they call these people the do-gooders. I mean, such as us, the down-to-earth people, we're the ones they come to for help. But just basically, I mean, charities worth millions. We've got absolutely nothing. I have to depend on people sending me stamps that have, you know, that they're not using and things. But we don't get any money. But we run the charity on nothing, and our voices are out there. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we have Cornell on the line now, Michael.
Hello, can you hear me, Andy?
Yeah, I can hear you, Cornell. We've got Maggie, Michael. Cornell, did you want to say a little bit about your, obviously your situation?
Yes, I do.
Don't say any children's names or any particular cases, but just say how many. You know, you can refer to them as I've got 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, but don't give any names or surnames.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, basically, so I've got my children, obviously, who's been stolen by the state, and I think it's totally unfair because I believe that everyone in the world needs a little bit of help and support, you know, and you know, it's really sad how the social services is doing this to young people. It shouldn't be happening like this, just to make money out of us and, you know, charge us bedroom tax. And I just basically wanted to say that also they're poisoning us with chemtrails in the sky as well, and that's how people get cancers. That's all I have to say.
Andy, you there? No, you're right, dead right, Cornell. I mean, what's his name? Yeah, to take your kids away is one, and then, you know, you've got the chemtrails as well. You know, they try everything possible these days, don't they?
Yeah, just really wrong. I mean, you know, you think that we'd be living a normal, happy life in the world, and you know, it's not like that at all. You know, I've been learning some stuff, you know, and I think that Maggie Tuttle is very good. You know, she's been educating me quite well, and I've been listening to what she's saying, and she's right, exactly. I totally agree what she says.
Yeah, no, so do I. I mean, you know, going about the kids, and like you're exactly right about the chemicals in the sky as well. You know, I mean, you know, that's just like, and then also the food. You know, the chemicals in the food, and then they say, oh, the kid's got HDA and all that sort of stuff. You know, and then they giving them tablets for that. You know. Just to take or slow them down or take their life from them, so they don't live as long. You know what I mean?
Mm. And then to top it off, we've got the secret family courts, where you know, they're all behind closed doors, and they're run by public, as you said, public organisations and private companies, which obviously that's wrong as well, because the members of the public don't even see what's going on, and the children don't have a voice inside the family court. This is it's public. It ain't public at all. You know, it's totally wrong, and it's just not right. I mean, if any jurisdiction was happening in this world where, you know, we need a load of people to come together, you know, I believe that children should have a voice, even if it's, you know, through Skype or a mobile phone or something. You know, I mean, we have our human rights.
Well, everybody's got the human rights, but I mean, what's his name? That's just being, then again, stolen away from us, you know, secretly. You know, and it takes yourself, Maggie, Andy, myself, you know, to speak up about these things and pass the word on, and so then people will find out a little bit more about what's actually going on. Because, I mean, people get tied up into everyday life, and what's his name? They just go about the way, and you know, like before you know it, you know, they are walking past a dead person on the street, which, you know, they just keep walking because they're going to work. They're going to work for one, to earn money for their family, and for two, you know, the government are getting money off them. And they're not worried about a person in a gutter or on a cardboard box, or your family, my family, or anybody else's family, as long as the world keeps going around.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I actually, I was homeless. Me and Nikki was homeless a long time ago because we had to run away from her family, because obviously Nikki came to me and Nikki got abused by her family, and she was so scared. You know, even they're so powerful, her family, and they came down kicking down my mum and dad's door. So we had to run out through the back way and jump on the train and go in a hiding place for like 2 weeks at least. You know, it was terrible what me and Nikki's been through.
Yeah, no, it's shocking. I mean, I understand where you're coming from there. You know, but what's his name? Yeah, I mean, like, you know what it's like, and millions of people don't. And that's what we're trying. That's what we've got to do. We've got to make them people open their eyes and think out of the box of not just going on every day of life, caring about the other public people what are around us, and showing them, you know, like when I walked down the street many years ago, you know, people used to say hello to each other and smile at each other and stuff like that. You walk down the street now, it's all changed. You know, people, don't even look at you, don't even acknowledge you anymore, unless you make the first
approach
change.
Yeah.
Right? If you make the approach and say, how you going? Or hello, good morning, or smile, then that person takes it on board. I mean, apart from, you know, until you do that, nobody will acknowledge you walking down the street.
That's right.
You know, and that's the difference in the world, what it's becoming. I mean, like when I go out, you know, not every person, but when I go out, you know, if somebody, you know, like you're walking in the shop and somebody opens the door for you, a lot of people don't say thank you anymore.
I just want to say briefly, because I don't want to say too much. You know, I make it short and sweet. I've got no criminal convictions. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't take drugs. You know, I've never harmed a child in my whole entire life. I've got clean CRBs. I've got medical records. I've done my parenting class. You know, so has Nikki as well. You know, but every time when I go into the family courts, they sweep it under the carpets. And I actually miss that one little moment, you know, like the Christmases and all the stories that I used to tell my daughter, you know, my children. You know, I'm not going to say their names, but, you know, I loved reading to my children, but I don't get to get it no more with them.
Yeah.
Michael, I can honestly say Cornell is one of my family, one of my children, and I've got a lot of kids out there. At least I'm not like the bloody government, so I don't charge to look after the children. And Cornell is one of my little babses, and he's a lovely little boy. And I've been in his company a few times, and he's so caring, and he's a lovely child. Young man, I should say. I call all my kids.
He's our brother, Michael. Michael, Maggie and Cornell. You are brother, my friend, and so is Nikki, our sister.
Thank you very much. It's so tearful. I tell you that now. You know, I mean, like when you see things like a fun fair now, right? And you got children, you say to them, you have a little £5 on your little £10. You say to your children, do you want to go to the fun fair on a couple of rides? And you enjoy yourself. But we can't do that no more. I'm going to write a book about my whole entire life, what I have been through. And I'm going to be going, we're just waiting on a college course, me and Nikki. You know, we're going to do every single college course, you know, and we're going to learn something, and we're going to try and study reading and writing and learn the laws as well, but common law.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say today.
I understand where you're coming from. I mean, like, you know, like when you've got kids, you know what I mean? And even if you are not a wealthy person, or if you're, you know, like you're on the dole, or, you know, you're getting the government dole check each fortnight or whatever, you know, when you do see the fairgrounds and stuff like that, you know, you sometimes can't go, or you go, but you know, we can't really afford it. But sometimes, you know, like you do it because you want to see the happiness in your kid, you know, and you try and sort of manage around funding bread and milk and that through the week, you know, and you've got to juggle it around. It's hard, you know. And I mean, that's been taken away from you, you know, like you want happiness with your child, you know, and unfortunately that's been taken away.
Right, Michael, Cornell, just say kind of your goodbyes for a minute. What it is, need to get a stun on because we've got about 35 minutes. I haven't played my show jingle for the second hour. And I've been emailed by Vince, and I said I'd play his song. So would you mind wrapping this bit up, and then I'll play the music and get Stan on. Sorry, Cornell.
Yeah.
Cornell can come on any time he wants.
That's okay. I say my goodbyes anyway.
And I'll say night-night, darlings, as well, and say night-night to Nikki.
I will do. All right, Mum.
Stop. Bye.
Bye.
See you,
Bye, darling.
You're listening to the Bands and Musicians Show with your host, Andy Peacher, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show for the indie and the up-and-coming singers, songwriters and bands. We need new guests. If you have the talent, please email Andy at freedomtalkradio2013@gmail.com or visit our website www.freedomtalkradio.co.uk. or Skype us at Freedom Talk Radio 1.
Yeah, thanks, Vince, for emailing us. I know the time zones keep changing. We had that in America 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'll play your song. This is from VinceJelenese.com, VinceJelenesemusic.com. He's been a little bit sleepy because of the time zone, so do apologise. But I'll play Every Dream, and this was #1 in the indie charts in America, top 10 in Australia. Every Dream.
Color of your hair, sweet smell of your skin, as you walk into my life, the lover is a sin. And when I look at you, there's no need for you to say, for what you feel inside is already on its way. Everybody loves her, everybody loves her, but she started loving me. To make your wish, make it reality. As I look into your eyes, as I see your magic smile, it makes me understand that what we have is so worthwhile. As I touch your pretty face, as the love that we embrace, you're everything, everything. Feel the rhythm of your heart if you're lying next to me. You're a river of love that got us out to sea. When I hold you in my arms and I watch you fall asleep, the emotion, the passion runs so deep. Everybody loves her, everybody loves her, but she started loving me. To make our wish, make it reality. As I look into your eyes, as I see your magic smile, it makes me understand what we have is so worthwhile. As I touch your pretty face, as the love that we embrace, as I am yours, as you are mine, believing every dream I've ever dreamed is the dream I dream of you. As I reach out to the stars, you're everything, everything, everything I ever knew. Every moment you have been here by my side, every moment you have been here, you're everything I feel Everybody loves her, as I am yours, as you are mine. Believe in every dream I've ever dreamed. It's the dream I dream of you. As I reach out to the stars, you're everything, everything, every dream I've ever dreamed. It's the dream I dream of you. As I reach out to the stars, you're everything. Everything, everything I ever knew.
Yeah, that's Vince Jelenese from VinceJelenesemusic.com. And yeah, a very good record. #1 in America, indie charts, top 10 in Australia.
freedomtalkradio.co.uk. This is the most diverse, most amazing, one of the funniest radio stations you could ever listen to on the internet. I've heard so much stuff from the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the politics, the non-politics, the schmolitics, whatever you want to call them. It's great.
Oh yeah, welcome back. It's Bands and Musicians Night. Linking into music, linking into child stealing and all the stuff that's going on in the world regarding the kids. Got Michael Unsworth from the song Calling You, Calling Me and childrenscreamtobear.com. We've got Maggie Tuttle, the founder, and we've got Come On Baby, Let's Rock, Stan. We've got Stanley here. Welcome to the show, Stan.
Hello, Andy. How you doing, mate?
No problem. We got Maggie and Michael.
Hello, Maggie. Hello, Michael.
Oh, how you going, Stan?
Yeah, right, mate.
Oh, it's all gone quiet. That's good.
Yeah.
Where's our leader? We need some leader inspiration, and then we can sing later on, Stan, with your tune.
Well, I don't know about singing, but I can play some harmonica for you.
Yeah, that'd be good. We just need our leader. Well, do you know what? I'm going to frame that. That's 2 minutes of quietness. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, Michael, it's a very important cause, that what we're working for, and I don't know what we have to do.
Exactly.
You did say that we need to march in our thousands. We know all that. Nobody will ever do that. So basically, dozens of us need to do something really bizarre that's not going to get us into trouble, but it's going to be a wow factor. It could be the concert which Vince, from that last record, has said he will come and and all that.
I mean, what they've got to understand is, like people have got to understand that putting their time for free to come and do a concert and for the children screaming to be heard. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, if we did it like such as the Band-Aid concert or something like that, we haven't seen much of a change for the African kids, have we?
No.
Really?
No.
I mean, so obviously all the money, the 50 million what they supposedly raised, didn't make a big change. So I would be thinking, like if we can all get together, it's a little bit of time, but time costs us nothing. My time's free. I was put on this earth, through my mother and father, and I just breathe fresh air, and I love life, and I'm willing to do it for free. And I'd like a lot of artists to come forward and support children screaming to be heard and do something for nothing or do it for free. And you'll see the outcome later on when, you see a safe house, you don't see homeless people on the streets. It cuts down the pedophile ring because they're not getting as many kids as they were. It stops a lot of things. So, I mean, I'd love to do a concert and bring it all together for the kids. And, there'd be, like Maggie, she deserves it and the kids deserve it,
we'll deserve it. We'll deserve it.
Yeah, to have this safe house, you know what I mean? First of all, the UK, needs a safe house, and I think they need a safe house. Like it's a very small country. I mean, you've got 86 million people, and where I live in Victoria, and you can fit England in Victoria 3 times. So you can just imagine that's one state of Australia. So you can just imagine how small England is, and it's got 86 million, and you've got 22 million in Australia, the size of Australia. So, I mean, there's a lot more kids over in the UK on the street being sold, traded. So yeah, I think we really need a safe house for the UK, and then hopefully it'll set all the other countries on the road to get safe houses around their countries as well.
Yeah, we've also got to thank Albina. It's the world's first, you know, when they're going, you know, people like Albina, they're going to paint these pictures. And I think it's, I don't know if it's God, if it's spiritual people, if it's just very good luck and timing. But, you know, imagine, Michael, that we've got a cause and then somebody says, I've done paintings. And I don't think she has a lot to do with, I don't think she's lost her kids and all that stuff. But somehow, through her goodness and emotion, she's, you know, managing to paint these pictures.
And they're amazing.
And the same as you know. I don't know what's going on, but, you know, you managing to do the right records at the right time. And then we've got Tim Spearman. He's managing to do the book at the right time. The only thing we do need is a bit more activism. And I'm not sort of pointing any fingers now. You know, I know people are thinking, you know, da-da-da, but don't think it that way. I'm not going to point any fingers when I say this. This is totally my idea. I am personally, I'm a bit mad, but a bit clever with it. I want to block the motorway off in London. I've got 5 police forces involved. I'm hoping I can do that. If I can't do it, you know, it's not. It doesn't work. I've tried. Nothing lost. You know, we've also got 50 odd people definitely going to come. I know 50 cars will be there at least. So that's definitely going to happen. Now, that may not bring in the big media. You know, everything we're doing may not bring in the big media, concerts, whatever. But we've got to keep trying. But what I think the weakest link is, and now Maggie will probably kill me for this, but with the Holly Gregg cover-up in Scotland, and Robert Greene and Tim Rusty in jail several times over the last 4 or 5 years for speaking the truth, I think if we can get at the paedophiles and naming, well, not so much name and shame them, but shock them, you know, big time, every day, every week, in big numbers, I think if we get rid of the paedophiles, we'll probably get rid of all our problems. And we need to do that via newspaper articles. And this bit is what I'm apologising for. People to have the strength to do videos and put it on the internet about what's really going on. And, well, you know, we've all got to try and be a bit more braver than we are now.
Yeah, it's just basically standing up. Stand up and do the right thing, Andy. You know, I mean, you know, I honestly think to myself, well, the first thing, you know, is what will make a change is people putting their hand in a pocket to a good cause. And the good cause is a safe house for the UK. And I mean, if everybody, like I said before, if everybody just puts their hand in the pocket for £1, I mean, and donates it, I mean, you will get a change. I mean, the change will happen by the safe house because you'll have people, the kids and people, homeless people and stuff off the streets, and, you know, they'll be secure at night, for one, and the other kids won't run away from the care system and that they've got somewhere safe to run instead of running. You know, it's like running down a blind entry into a pedophile's arms. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing worse. You know, there's nothing worse than being a kid. I know, like as I was a kid, you know, walking the streets at night, being cold. You know, drizzling rain. You know, you sort of really looking around you all the time, being aware of, you know, if there's anyone around or if anybody's watching you, you know, because like I was brought up with the aware system of, you know, you have to watch people, you know, and a lot of kids are not, you know, a lot of kids are trusting in basically everybody and anybody. And you know, that's the kids what get taken advantage of. That's the kids what are, you know, pass from pillar to post. Yeah, so I mean, I think if everybody in the UK could just even just put £1 in the charity, I think, you know, you'd start fixing the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I've emailed today and yesterday because I had to delete everything, you know, to clear my email box. Now, I'm not boasting, but I spent, you know, hours on 2 days answering the phone and all that. But I sent 1,200 emails, 1,200, and all I got back is one guy, and I respect him for this. Out of 1,200 emails, is piss off. This is scam. Sorry, spam even. You know, rubbish to him. And that's fair enough because he actually emailed me. But the other 1,199 people didn't even tell me to go away. And that's what I really hate.
Yeah.
But I'm going to up the notch in the next few days. I'm actually going to be calling people and then saying, look, would you like to hear our promotional song? It's for a charity. You know, ring them up, I think. Get the proper email address to send to the people that you talk to. Because I think when you cold calling, they go into spam anyway.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it does go into, you know, like if you email and stuff like that, goes into like the junk mail and stuff like that if you don't know them and that. So a lot of it doesn't get opened up, you know, like if you look at probably 10% of 1,000, you know, it's only, you know, what's his name, 100 people.
I'm looking.
That's up to them to get back to you. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of them will just ignore it anyway, Andy. You know, turn a blind eye to it. You know, because a lot of people don't want to know the truth. You know, they've got money. They go forward in their lives. They've got money. They're not worried about anybody else. But I'd like people to think about just even take 1 hour of their day and just think about somebody else and, you know, donate something to the charity for the kids.
Yeah, and also if they can just up the notch a little bit, you know, ordinary people just Google child stealing by the state, forced adoptions, legally kidnapped as well. You know, just Google that, get your education in. Google, you know, childrenscreamtobeheard.com. Read it, make your own opinion. Nobody wants you to believe it unless you've researched it and you want to believe it. I ask people, you know, who's writers, let's write about it. People who painting, let's paint about it. People who's got videos, you know, let's video about it more. And also there's another thing I was thinking of earlier. You know, we've got, obviously to the conference, we've got Tim is definitely coming. Michael, let's hope you're coming, because me, you, Stan, Maggie, we're going to have a big group hug with Tim. But I've just thought of something. There's one thing missing out of all this, and we need a drama group. Why can't they do a play on what's happening at the moment? And I bet this is where Maggie's going to probably already seen it and done it, or we need a play.
I think they've already got a play, haven't they? It's called Oliver, wasn't it? Oliver, that was all about paedophilia, wasn't it?
Possible.
Yeah, well, then what's his name?
We need a film. We need a film. Never mind about a play in the West End. You guys would be very good doing a film because you all talk well, and Stanley can do the filming.
Well, the play, Maggie, is a little bit more realistic, whereas a film, you need lots of stuff. A play, you can get a drama group to do a play virtually for nothing.
I mean, just even if they donated the time to it, Andy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what
I mean, that's what it takes. It just takes a little bit of time from everybody to give a little bit of time, and you'll see a change. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, we need the people to come forward who are willing to make a change.
We also need to bring down all the paedophiles in Parliament first.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of them around, so, you've got to sort of stand up against them and, make them known to other people.
Well, actually, Michael, let's turn a little bit and onto Stan now, because Stan's he made the effort to come along. We can do a little sing-song a little bit later, or whatever we're going to do with the ukulele. Yeah. But, Stan's a good example of what's going on around here. Cornell came on about his kids and my kids and so on and so on. But Stan, he's being butchered, medically to shut up, But that's what's happened. That's what happens. Maggie gets $1 million stolen. Stan gets his health nearly sort of sorted. They're getting back at us, but we need to fight harder, don't we, Stan?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they really done me up like a kipper, I've mentioned it on your show before, but I had some surgery. It was deliberately done wrong, in a sense. I had a ruptured clavicle. When I had it operated on, they removed half my shoulder without telling me. And then they did a character assassination on me, and then they refused me any treatment to get it corrected. And this has been going on now for 14 years. Oh,
because you sort of wanted to complain, didn't you?
Well, because I stood up to the treatment I was getting in the beginning, and that you make a complaint and they've got it in for you for the rest of your life. Once they blacklist you, that's it. You're on their list forever. And I'm finding more and more people coming out of the woodwork now who've gone through similar stuff to me.
I think it goes back to square one, though. Get rid of the paedophiles, because paedophiles and money, they've got a combination together. Get rid of them, Stan. I think we won't have any more problems. But
yeah,
it's going to take forever.
They're running the show, though, aren't they? That's the problem.
It's going to take forever to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And all these poor little babies, Maggie mentioned, months old, are getting raped. And then I'm sure that she's forgotten to mention she saw a child in the public toilets, 5 to 7 year old, with makeup on. I mean, how sick is the UK, guys?
Yeah, I was with her at the time when she saw it. When she saw it.
Yeah, how sick is the UK though? I mean, it's not.
Stanley and I interviewed a lot of people on the streets, and most of them were from care, weren't they, Stanley?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one girl in a wheelchair, she'd been sexually abused since she was a baby, and they're all nice people. They have to beg for a living, and do you know what? All this bloody homeless bed for the night. If you want a bed for the night, I've already written a blog. It's on our website. If you want a bed for the night, if you don't pay for that bed, then you're going to sleep on the streets. So what is the point of the Salvation Army and the rest of them, who all get grants and hundreds of thousands of pounds a year? Because when you are running a charity, you can put in for your running and capital costs. We can't do that because we cannot find a professional fundraiser who will work on a commission. So we're lost. But all these other charities who run all these shelter and all their hostels for the homeless, unless them kids have got the money to get in there, they've got no bed for the night. And yet these charities who get all the funding for the year to home these people, why are they demanding the money from the homeless? Because it's more money. And if you notice, every Christmas, everybody comes out, all the do-gooders come out, and they want to give all the homeless a Christmas dinner. Then after Christmas, it's piss off. Back to the streets. Wait till next Christmas. We'll feed you then. That is the system in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And who put the kids on the street, Stanley, as they all told us? Social services.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stan, I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. You're all right.
No, you're good, Maggie. Carry on.
No, I'll let Stanley have his say, because he'll nag me tomorrow otherwise. So, there. But it's true. It's all down to money, isn't it?
Yeah, going back to that song you played earlier on about the cardboard box, Sandy.
Yeah.
We actually met that guy, Ben. We found him outside a shop, literally on a cardboard box, literally. And I said to him, I said, I said, how much a day do you get while you're begging? He said, I don't beg. I said, what are you doing then? He said, I sing for my money. I said, well, give us a song then, and I recorded him doing it briefly, and then I later went back and met up with him and went on location round in London with him and got him to do a better version of it, and that's how that song came about.
I'll tell you what, Stanley, I always said, he's such a good-looking guy, Michael. He's so beautiful. If only I was 50 years younger. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I'd chase him then. I'd go begging with him, I think.
Well, that
lovely young man and so polite, and yet been abused in the care system.
Well, that particular that record and video, Ben sitting on a cardboard box, is on YouTube, and it's really all to do with Stan. If it wasn't for Stan and his skills, you know.
Stan is amazing. He gets bad-tempered, but he's got a heart of gold. Stanley has, I'm telling you. But you ain't heard him shout at me.
And listeners, you haven't heard Maggie nagging yet.
And I have to ask Michael to help me out then, and then Michael says, Stanley, now then. So anyway, we've got I will say that we have got a fantastic team. We really have. We have no money. We do it from our own hearts and pockets. We got Stan on the films, got Michael doing the music now. In comes the Emperor Roscoe to help us, a world-famous DJ. We've got Andy Pandy, Andrew, he works relentlessly all day with me. Bev's going to be helping us as well because Stanley's making a new video, and his videos gets the word out there. Now we've got Albina. And Albina's paintings are going to show the world of the suffering of the children. We really do have a very, very good team. And my thanks go to you all. It really does. If I could get my money back that I've been defrauded of, I would take us all out for a meal and fly us to Australia.
Oh,
I can't do it, Michael. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, what's his name? Just meeting you is good enough anyway, Meg. I mean, just talking to you and bringing my eyes to the light of day of what's going on in the world. I can't thank you, enough for what you've made me see, what's going on in the world. I mean, it's a pleasure to spend the time to do the songs, and hopefully we can get the other people in the world to see the daylight through all this.
Yeah,
that dark side, what they're all in.
Michael, and I was fighting the campaign before I met Maggie, and I was going in the wrong direction and meeting people that were just trying to control me, and I'm glad I met Maggie. I don't know how we met now, but we met because of other people's mistakes, and
yeah.
And I think I introduced people to people, and Maggie introduced me to them, and between us we've got together as a good team, and we owe that to Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm just one of the best naggers in the world, and they all go, oh, we'll have to do as she says, because she swears at us.
No, Stan's got the right idea. He sounds like an MP. Here.
You ain't heard him of a daytime. But
well, is Stan going to play a little bit of harmonica, or why I make a cup of coffee? Because, I mean, it's 7 o'clock now here.
Yeah, well, we've got 6 minutes, and the lady will come on and say you've got a minute to go, but we have got a half an hour after if we need to.
I just wanted to say I've seen some of those paintings, Andy, and they're absolutely fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Of course they are.
I mean, what's his name? Yeah, they're incredible. You know, like 8 people can get out and, or even if they're on the website and have a look at them. You know what I mean? I mean, because it's just amazing how somebody's just painting these paintings, and it's all true.
She is an amazing. I don't like modern art, but Michael, when I saw those paintings, I mean, I really sat and cried. I really did. I thought that it's incredible. We're going to be putting on the first art exhibition in the world, which is telling the story, the true story of our children worldwide, in actual fact.
That's right.
First time in the world this is going to be done. Really is. And this is why everybody needs to get to that conference on the 27th. Phew, my God.
25th of July, 2014.
25th, sorry.
9 a.m.
Well, I'm going to put the kettle on. And, yeah.
We're going to listen to Stan, I think.
Yeah. See what Stan's got to deliver here.
What I was going to say, in 2 minutes' time, we'll get a lady keep saying 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute to the end of the show. We have actually got, after that, another half an hour. So the best thing to do, let's play Michael's new song, You're My Lover, and then when that's finished, we'll get Stan to do the harmonica, and then that lady will play during the song.
Now, this is a live. It was a live taken just the other night. I just did it live, so it should suit the radio anyway. And yeah, we'll just give it a plug for, hopefully for the radio station. And, Andy, Stan and Maggie, nice talking to you. I'm going to make a cup of coffee while I have a listen to it. Vince, Cornell, nice meeting you, Cornell. Vince, unfortunately, didn't, come on. But yeah, no. All I can say is, before I go anyway, anybody listening or anybody willing to donate either a little bit of time for Maggie or donate £1 towards the safe house would be appreciated. So yeah, all the best to everybody out there, and take care.
Come back for the ukulele. I mean the harmonica.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I am.
Stan actually came up with a good song title. Actually, it's A Crying Shame.
Yeah, no. What's his name? I can play you that song. It's A Crying Shame. It's by Johnny Diesel.
Oh, okay then.
I didn't realise there was already one out there.
Yeah. But you could write another one. Yeah, It's a Crying Shame. That one, Don't You Know It's a Crying Shame, it's called, I think.
All right then, I'll just I'll play the record, You're My Lover.
Yeah.
I could be a lover, I could be a man, I could be a friend that you never had. We could fly away on a summer breeze. Now we're flying high, it's 100 degrees. Love the way you touch me, then you took my hand. Love the way you hold me in your arms at night. Every night and day that you're away, my love grows stronger every minute of the day. You're my lover, I'm your man. You're my best friend I've ever had. You're my lover, I'm your man. You're my best friend I've ever had. Then you took my hand, swept away in your arms at night. We grow up together, we can get away from this city life that we live today. You're my lover, I'm your man. You're my best friend I've ever had. You're my lover, I'm your man. You're my best friend I've ever had. You're my lover, I'm your man. You're my best friend I've ever had.
Well, guys, Michael Unsworth, you're my lover. I'm just assuming that may be for his good lady Beth, but it could be for any reason. But it's a fantastic record. What do you think, Stan?
Yeah, lovely song, mate. I love it.
Yeah, Maggie said the other day, that's not Michael. I said, well, he sent me the track. So Michael can obviously say he's diverse. Is that the right word? You know, he can do different sort of genres.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Maggie, what do you think to that? You're my lover.
I heard it actually. Yeah, I heard. Was it yesterday or today, Stan? I heard it.
Yesterday.
And I didn't think it was Michael because he sounded so differently. But yeah, it is him. I know that. He's got a voice where it just changes. That's all I can say. But it's a lovely song. It's a lovely song. It really is nice. Nice words.
Yeah, thanks for that, Maggie.
Who's that, Bev or Michael?
You know who it is. Don't start that.
Where is his voice? He mimics you sometimes, Bev.
I know.
So have you got your coffee now?
Yeah, Bev's just got up at 6 o'clock actually, not 7 o'clock because daylight savings. But yeah, Bev's making a coffee and do you want to speak to Bev, mate?
Oh, so no, if she's getting ready for work or something.
No, she's not going to work today.
Oh, a day off.
Yeah, she's got a day off today.
Tell her we're still on the radio and Stan's going to come and wake her up a little bit with his tune when Maggie and Bev's had a chat.
Yeah, no worries. I'll get Bev now.
We've got about 30 minutes maximum.
Yep.
I love this family we're in, Maggie.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, it's good. I'm seeing Stanley at the end. Am I still seeing you at the end of the week,
You are?
Stanley?
Yes.
To do the film?
Yes, we are, yes.
All right. Oh, there's a very positive. Normally, if I ask him a question about filming, all as I get is, and I say, what's that? Huh?
That usually means maybe.
Oh, right. Well, that was a bleeding positive yes then. So that's good.
He's under pressure.
Yes, because I'm on the radio.
He's under pressure.
Yeah, because I've got so many witnesses, Stanley, now listening in.
Yeah, there's no
you can't get out of it, you see.
Now.
Yeah. So, where's Joanne as well?
Joanne's just having a little lay down, sleeping.
Oh, she's all right, good.
She fell asleep about 8:30.
Right. Well, I'm nearly asleep myself.
I'm waiting for my last phone call of the day to Ron Smith.
Oh, is Ron coming
Bev will
in
be
then?
here in a couple of minutes, Mag. She'll have a word with you. Can we have a listen to this harmonica because I get really excited about this harmonica.
Yeah, go on.
What's your name? Shall I go for it then?
Let's go.
I haven't heard an harmonica for a while because I haven't been in the blues festival. So, I mean, I'm sure if he plays harmonica, Stan, I mean, a bit of blues in there.
Well, this is for Maggie because she's so amazing. Ooh. Sorry about that little bit went wrong there. I've got a blocked up hole.
No, that's all right.
I was just thinking, Maggie.
Said the actress to the bishop.
Eh?
Said I've got a blocked up hole, said the actress to the bishop.
Yeah, I know.
I was
And now then, this is a children's programme. We'll not have any dirty jokes. Or bugger off, Stan.
Now, the end bit sounded like the harmonica had been on the beer.
Oh, did it?
Yes. Well.
Why don't you just say the harmonica's pissed?
It's brilliant. That was good, Stan.
That was good, Stan.
Good man.
Yeah.
What's his name? So, what's Maggie got to say? Anything more now, Mag?
I'm falling asleep now because I'm normally in bed at 7 and I'm always asleep by 9 because any phone calls coming in, everyone knows now 9 o'clock.
Cut off time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, hopefully, you know, the conference and everything will go good.
I'm sure it will.
And the blockade for you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm an activist on my own, but we'll do it.
Mm. And I mean, I've seen, what's his name, Stan knows a little bit about chemtrails. We was talking about with Cornell.
Yeah.
He mentioned chemtrails about the chemicals in the air too.
Well, one of the things that people don't seem to realise, right? We all know, a lot of people know that in these chemtrails, there's aluminium, barium, sodium, polymer fibres, infected blood cells. But the one thing people don't mention is the cadmium. Now, a friend of mine, he's done some tests. Yeah, we had some chemtrails and it was stuff coming down. He took some tests on it and they proved positive for cadmium, which is highly toxic.
Yeah.
And that's what they're spraying us with. Now, the blood, the infected human blood cells, I've deducted from. I've studied how they do cloud seeding, right? Now, one of the things that they use to make to do cloud seeding is urine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, urine would have blood in it, blood cells.
Yeah.
So I've deducted from that's why they're finding blood cells in the chemtrails, because they use urine to make it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of information for you there.
Yeah, I'll give you some more. I'll give some more information. Maggie, there's only 62 seats left now out of 180. That's quite good. We've got people coming.
What's that for the conference, Andy?
Yeah. What happens is put the link out, and they have to put their email in and the phone number. You know, and they have to confirm they're coming.
Right.
And nearer the time, I'll email everybody and say, are you definitely sure you're coming? You know, to allow other people to come if they change their mind. Where's Bev then? Is she here?
You there, Michael?
Yeah.
Is Bev here?
She's coming in now, I think.
Yeah.
2-6.
I'm glad I heard your story because it's romantic. You both meeting in St Helens and then ending up in Australia. And I love Bev's accent because she's more St Helens come Australia, but you're more Australia. I can't tell your English accent, Michael, but I can tell Bev's.
Can I say something, please?
Yes,
Wait on, Maggie.
Stanley, talking of the chemtrails, I am aware of what's all the chemicals inside and that. But is anybody aware that we now have sort of, God knows how many thousands and thousands, if not millions worldwide, kids suffering with asthma?
Absolutely.
Your turn, Stanley.
Yeah. They're all on inhalers now, aren't they?
Well, that's right, and it's very, very dangerous, those inhalers. There's all chemicals into the body, yet again.
Yeah, but what can we do about it, They won't even admit they're doing it.
Come in, Maggie.
Oh, yeah, there was I had an email through the other day, so a government somewhere has now, I'm sure I emailed it to you, Stanley, they've come out and told the truth that of the chemtrails. But I'm more, because I work with the children, or for the children, I know what's going on with the chemtrails, so when something comes through, I might just pass it to you or whoever, or forget it.
Yeah,
they have acknowledged it now, Stanley.
Yeah, they might have told you some stuff, but I very much doubt it's the truth, Maggie.
No, they've said that the chemtrails are dangerous. I did read a bit of it, not much of it, though. Yeah. But I'll see if I can find it tomorrow, Stan. My brain's gone now.
Right.
But it has come out somewhere or the other. I may still have the email.
Yeah,
or if you have a look in your emails, it might be there. But no, it's very dangerous for all these children and babies.
Well, it's dangerous for all of us, Maggie.
I was going to say I agree with that, Maggie, actually.
Well, yeah, but if you all drink your lemons every day and take your garlic, you'd be fit like me.
And your lecithin?
That's the memory.
Yes, and your
memory.
Baking soda, whatever you want to call it.
Hi, Bev.
Hiya, Mags. How you doing, love?
I'm fine. You're going to be singing the song for the new video. Song, as your Michael says, song, for the new video that Stanley's making this week.
All right. Sounds good.
Did you get your orders from the gang?
My orders? Not yet. I've just got out of bed. I went to bed early last night, and I think
Mike's
been up half the night. So I've just got up. I've just had a coffee, and I'm having a coffee. So,
right,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're doing it anyway. You've got a lovely voice, Bev.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, actually. Yeah, I used to do a lot of singing, but, I don't sort of, do too much now. Just like for friends and things like that, I do anyway.
Well, you're going to do it for the children now, Bev?
I know. So it's funny.
Wonderful.
I did a CD quite a few years ago, and, my friend, she has this bloody CD in her car, and she plays it all the time, She's like, Bev, I always play this CD.
Oh.
Yeah. So how have you lot been? You all right?
Yeah, we're still fighting the world.
Still fighting the world. Well, somebody has to fight the world, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you what, guys. Let me take it off the radio for now. And thank everybody listening today. And I'll be back on Thursday with the Families Reunited show. From Andy Peacher, have a great day, and thanks for listening to Freedom Talk Radio.